The story behind the knife is kind of interesting. So apparently Dee Dee Ramone has this cool kind of butterfly knife, and everybody loves Dee Dee Ramone's knife. So every party they go to, Dee Dee pulls out the knife, he's showing people this cool butterfly knife, and all the punk kind of Illuminati are there. It's 1970s splash. They're having the greatest of crack. Steve Bators from the Dead Boys likes this knife a lot. So Dee Dee goes out and buys him a knife and gifts it to him. Sid witnesses this, and he thinks all the cool punk heads have these cool butterfly knives.
Yeah.
He goes out, buys the exact same knife that Dee Dee has and that Steve Bators has. And this is what he carries around with him. During the party, Sid is on methadone because he's recovering. During the party, someone shows up with a big bag of fucking gear, gives it to him. He decides to go and bang up a load of gear. He sees... Nancy sees him banging up the gear. She's like, I'm not in on this as well. The party's over. The party was actually thrown by Jerry Only from the Misfits. It was his recovery party, which is fucking mental. Because he's a born-again Christian and all.
Please don't be doing drugs or the stabbings.
Yeah.
Sid Vicious, actually.
The whole thing is fucking mad. So yeah, he ODs in 1979. He gets sent to Rikers Island. He comes out. Jerry Only throws him a party. They're having the best of crack. Someone shows up with a load of heroin. Whether it was ordered by Sid or not, or somebody just decided Sid needs heroin, this is what happens.
I wouldn't have thought heroin was a very stabby drink until I went through Dublin and started opening my eyes.
Until you went through Dublin an hour ago.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Now, apparently, Sid comes running down to the hotel foyer saying, she's dead, or something's happened, blah, blah, blah.
Is he covered in blood?
I'm sure he had a bit of blood in him. I don't know.
Every picture of him is covered in blood.
During the cops being there, he admits to stabbing her. He says, I stabbed her.
Right.
A couple of days later, he recants that and says,
because
I don't remember.
Lawyers went,
exactly.
No, Sid, don't say that.
Yeah. Then he recants that. He says that she fell on the knife while he had it out because she was fighting with him and she ran at him and he had the fucking knife in his hand, and that's how she stabbed herself. Anyway, Nancy dies. He attempts suicide a bajillion times. He ends up dying again. Sid dies himself at a party after doing a load of heroin. Another party thrown by Jerry Only.
His parties sound like the best crack.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great. So Cherry Only from the Misfits throws this party.
He goes for another party after the last one.
Yeah.
What could happen? What could happen at a Jerry Only party?
And he ODs, right? And he dies. Now, Nancy was Jewish, so she is buried in a Jewish cemetery. Sid's mother and after Sid is dead, Sid's mother approaches Nancy's family and asks, can we scatter Sid's ashes on Nancy's grave? Because Sid was very adamant that when he died, he attempted suicide a bunch of times. He was very adamant that when he died, he wanted to be buried beside Nancy, but he couldn't be because he wasn't Jewish. Mm. So,
probably a murderer,
and probably, almost definitely a murderer.
Imagine fucking like if there is an afterlife and you get to spend. I don't know how it works. You sit in your box in an afterlife, and then the guy who stabbed you comes beside you in the box.
Apparently you float around near where you died or where you're buried. I don't know.
Yeah, either one, he's going to be there.
Like pretty much,
isn't he?
The case for ghosts is cancelled by the fact that people see ghosts in cemeteries. You know what I mean? It sounds like nonsense to me. Anyway, Nancy's family say, no, you're not fucking scattering his ashes near my Nancy because he killed her.
Yeah.
Rumour has it that Jerry Only snuck into the cemetery with the ashes and scattered them.
Jerry Only is a bit of, for want of a better word, misfit.
I will tell you, I've spent a little bit of time with Jerry Only, and he's a lovely man.
Yeah, but if he did that, he's a scumbag.
Yeah. Scattered the ashes, apparently, on Nancy's grave. Against mother's wishes.
Yeah.
But to be fair, listen, Nancy and Sid are, that's the true romance story. You know what I mean? They might be killing each other literally and fighting and whatever, but
if you
designed to be together.
If your heart is warmed by the story of Sid and Nancy, then you are going to be bound for shite relationships that you deserve.
And your favourite film will be fucking probably True Romance as well.
Yeah, but that's not as fucking horrible.
Here's a can being opened.
Oh, so openly.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
So openly. Who's your next one?
Vince Neil from Motley Crue in 1984 was partying all day with, Hanoi Rocks drummer.
Did he rock and roll all night?
That's Kiss, but yeah, he did. And part of the day with Nicholas Razzledingy from the Finnish band, Hanoi Rocks. Two of them decided, we're out of drink, let's go and drive what's the name of the car? Oh, the Di Tommaso Pantera car. Such a beautiful car. Wasn't by the end of the trip, unfortunately, because
in shite.
He lost control after speeding into oncoming traffic. Seriously injures two of the people he hit. And killed Razzledingy, unfortunately. He was found, obviously, to have blood alcohol way above the limit.
Of course, in shite.
He is ordered to pay 2.6 million in restitution to the other two victims of the crash. And 30 days, which he only serves 15 of, and 200 hours community service.
Scum.
This guy is clearly bulletproof. You'll just get into it now. It's absolutely mental. The fact that you would think that would be something that would make you open your eyes. You killed someone. You did kill him. That's is it manslaughter, is it? I don't know. Reckless.
I think it's manslaughter when you don't really intend to do it and it just happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Of course he survives because he's a fucking cockroach.
Yes.
That's really... The song I picked is Home Sweet Home from Theatre of Pain, which he dedicated to Razzle. That's not really a bad song. It's the ballady thing. But let's just take a little quick look at Vince Neil after this accident. Now, I know that his daughter died, and that is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. But there's no excuse for all of this shit. So this is after killing someone in 1984. Because I'm sorry, but he did kill someone. 2002, arrested for punching record producer Michael Schumann to the ground. He has to do more community service for that. 2003, arrested again for the accusation that he assaulted a sex worker in the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, which is a mad place. I've watched documentaries on that before. It's absolutely fucking mental. He pleaded no guilty. Battery charges, sentenced to 30 days. He loves his old 30 days. Suspended, obviously. Of course, suspended.
Come here, when you see that suspended sentence, do you ever actually have to serve that?
If you do something in that time, I think in the time.
So if you do a bit of picking up rubbish.
No, you'll pay for the next time you commit a crime. So you'll add that to the. As far as I know,
okay.
All the people that listen to these fucking murder podcasts can correct me.
Yeah. To be fair, we know jack shit about murder.
We're music people, but we're branching.
We are branching out.
So
next one is celebrity music sex tapes.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. So 60 days in anger management, fined $1,000 for assaulting a sex worker, and he paid $132. This lad is bulletproof, and let's keep going.
Fucking hell.
December 2004, after a fight during a show, he left the sound man unconscious for 45 minutes. Probably paid for that one out of court. There's no information about what he paid there. Here's where it really starts fucking pissing me off even more. 2007, arrested for suspicion of DUI. Back to a scumbag. Imagine killing someone and going back to that shit, right, in Las Vegas, where he was making...
Especially when you're that rich that you could just have people drive you around.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Literally could... But no, he wants to be the one because he's driving a Ferrari. And it's erratically. He worked out a deal with prosecutors where he pleaded guilty to reckless driving in exchange for them dropping the DUI charges. Again, lad's bulletproof. Let's shoot forward. 4 years, 2011. He's charged with battery and disorderly conduct after an altercation with his ex-girlfriend. Again, this is more fucking around in courts. Gets away with it. Of course he gets away with it. 2015 it's just a regular suit for fraud. $500,000 for fraud. So we'll skip over that one because it's not particularly interesting. 2016, charged with misdemeanor battery of his girlfriend. No, sorry, a fan. A fan outside a casino in Las Vegas where Nicolas Cage had to restrain him.
Get the fuck out of
here. Yeah, Nicolas Cage had to go, hey man, fucking chill out, dude. You can't do that. He's doing those fake karate chops. So he's charged, he gets offered £1,000 but it goes on a little bit longer and he's sued, and I think ultimately he had to pay maybe 170 grand. He's a scumbag.
Yes.
Especially the DUI after that.
That's dirt.
And again, there's so many things you can really fucking lamp on this cunt. He's just not a nice human being. Yeah. All the shit that he did, as well as that. If you haven't seen him doing Girls recently at that award...
One of the greatest things.
When they re-released that shit movie, The Dirt, which is a shit film.
The worst.
About they're a horrible band. Now, I'm a fan of the music, to be perfectly honest with you, because if you distance yourself a little bit from it, but they're kind of scumbags, and he's king scumbag. Everyone thinks it might be Nicky Six or Tommy. No, it's this guy. He's the king scumbag. watch him doing the last performance of Girls, Girls, Girls after they'd retired for like the 5th time.
Shocking.
I can't believe Motley Crue are very tight with their promo and all merch and stuff like that, much more than like Kiss would be. So I'm surprised someone went, put that out.
Yeah.
Put this performance out. Just watch that. And it gives me a little bit of I'm kind of glad that he's such a mess now.
Yeah.
Because fuck him. All the lives he's fucked up, fuck him.
Wrecked everything.
And watch that performance of Girls, Girls, Girls.
That's one of the worst.
No, Kickstart My Heart, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Check that out.
I read that book. I read The Dirt when it came out, and I enjoyed it.
Like, Neil Strauss is a great, ghostwriter. I'm not ghostwriter because he's the guy who does it. Did Marilyn Manson's one as well.
It reads like interesting, It makes the band like I had a partial interest in Motley Crue. They're fine. I wouldn't be their biggest fan, but I don't hate them. And when I read the book, I was like, I have to get balls deep now with the Motley Crue.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah.
There's absolutely so much.
A lot going on.
There's so much with Nicky, there's so much with Tommy.
Yeah.
Mick Mars, clean enough living. Apart from being a mad alco.
Yeah.
Clean enough. Mad degenerative bone syndrome or something he's got going on. But the older one seems sound enough. But the rest of them, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Dirt.
There. Who's your last one?
This is it. You ready?
Yeah.
This is fucking incredible. I've been waiting for the chance to talk about this for about 10 years.
Right.
Joe Meek.
Oh, yeah.
This is fucking insane. Right. Joe Meek was a musician, but he kind of wasn't. He was a sound engineer and a producer, was what he was.
So he was Puff Daddy.
Kind of. He was also a songwriter. He'd done a little bit of everything. But Joe Meek is quite possibly the most important person to ever exist in music.
Holy shit.
Right? Joe Meek was like instrumental.
Literally.
In the creation of overdubbing, sampling, reverb.
Oh, wow.
Everything. Right? That was his thing. He was the first guy to kind of what we talk about when we talk about stuff like Pet Sounds and the Pet Shop Boys. I keep saying that. The Beach Boys. Because of Pet Sounds.
Wow, they're so different.
Pet Sounds Boys. When we talk about stuff like that, we talk about the recording studio becoming an instrument unto itself. He's the first guy to use the studio as an instrument.
Yeah.
In terms of adding effects on and stereo spreads and all this kind of stuff. Now,
stereo spread.
Joe Meek was born in 1929. And he would have been a pioneer in what they would call space age music and instrumental music. And that's the studio effects coming to bear there. Now, Jesus Christ. Now, he worked with a lot of people. He done a lot of production with people. He's kind of, one of the things he's famous for will be saying that the Beatles were shit and turning down the Beatles and turning down bands that became monstrous, right?
Yeah.
So he's most certainly an underground kind of hero in a way, and that he never really got the touch off massive acts.
Right.
But the acts that he did work with became influential in their own way.
Right.
He was more appreciated after he was gone than he was while he was alive. One of the big things he's famous for was Mitch Mitchell, Jimi Hendrix drummer.
One of my favourite drummers of all time. Absolutely incredible drummer.
He made him perform on a track while he had a shotgun held to his head to incite a great performance. He wasn't happy with Mitch's performances. So he went into the booth, pulled out a shotgun, cocked it, held it at his head, and said, play it right now, or I'm going to kill you.
Starting to see maybe where Phil Spector gets his buzz from.
I was going to use Phil.
Sorry.
Phil has nothing on this lad. Nothing. Now, Joe Meek was gay. During the time that being gay was most certainly not the done deal. He was terrified. He was terrified of the Cray twins in London.
One of them was gay?
Yeah, but I think there was still a lot of kind of self-hatred going on.
Of course. Well, to be fair, that's going to happen if society doesn't want you to be like that. You're going to listen to society sometimes. Back then especially, you couldn't get away with it.
Exactly.
Absolutely couldn't get away with it.
So he's terrified of the Cray twins. He's kind of hiding from them all the time. He's afraid they're going to come after him. He's English.
He's English. Probably said that.
He had everything wrong with him, right? He was bipolar, he had schizophrenia, you name it. You absolutely name it. Warts, probably. He was obsessed with communicating with the dead while he was alive. And he used to go into cemeteries and set up reel-to-reel tape machines and record overnight.
That's kind of cool.
Kind of. But what he would do, he would end up recording stuff like cats meowing and cats walking around, and he was convinced that these were spirits that he'd recorded in cemeteries. And he'd end up working bits of that into songs and production and shit like that.
No.
Exactly. He thought that Decca Records had implanted microphones behind the wallpaper